Hello and welcome everyone. Our today's topic is legal concept, legislations, case law, ethical standards are all included in the indicative content of this learning outcome 3. So there are there are several legal ethical codes pertain to businesses and professional groups such as government directives, rules published by professional bodies, or codes particular to certain sectors, current status of each, such as law, regulations and guidance, relationship and interactions between them. Can you guys hear me properly, and can you see my screen as well? Any issues?
No issues from my side.
Anyone? Just
No.
okay. Okay. If any issue, just please let me know. If you can't hear me, or if you any issues while my session. Corporate governance and ethical practices, abuse of power, fraudulent activities and bribery, a comprehensive analysis of component and of malpractice, as well as the defenses against malpractice for professional accountants. Uh, Assessment criteria 3.1, 2, and 3.3 and 4. Obviously, analyze the relationship between legal principles, legislations, case laws, and ethical codes. Then 3.2, explain the elements and consequences of malpractice, fraud, and bribery in business organizations. Then provide an explanation of the offenses and penalties that are associated with the money laundering. Also, we will discuss the offenses and punishment that are associated with the misuse of computer and cyber crime. So first one is ethics and behavior. Analyze the relationship between legal principle, legislations, case law, and ethical codes. Concepts, legislation, and case law, ethical conduct, and ethical principles, a system of moral principles that serve to direct actions in referred to the as ethics in the context of ethics, assumptions, and views about what define right and wrongs. Right and wrongs actions are referred to as ethical values. So, both people and companies in the businesses world are committed to upholding ethical standards. So, it is possible for organizations to develop ethical standards and codes of conduct for their staff members. So, nowadays, if anyone is current that completed ACCA or any qualifications, nowadays you can see there is an extra module or extra subjects which is ethical codes and conducts and this kind of code of practices. So when it comes to the profession of accounting, strong moral standards and absolutely necessary, since accountants operate in the public interest. So they have a responsibility to society as a whole. So in the field of accounting, the goal of the professions, the acquisition of a certain set of abilities and methods, acknowledgement of responsibilities. So responsibilities acknowledgement and responsibilities to society and development of an ethical attitude to work environment, objective point of view, providing services that or of the best possible quality, obtaining the satisfaction of the general population. The purpose of the Code of Professional Ethics for accountants is to direct them towards accomplishing these, goals. So members of professional bodies such as qualified accountants often have code of ethics to guide them when ethical dilemmas arise. So several codes of ethical have been developed which are broadly similar. So the professional body of theory and skills adherence to the common code of values and conduct and acceptance of the responsibility to society are essential components. Characteristics, applications to accounting professions. So characteristics that are applicable to the accounting profession applications, body of theory like technical skills such as auditing or accounting standards, then adherence to common code of values and behavior or values and conduct. It is important to retain an objective perspective and ethical standards relevant to all members, such as ACCA Code of Ethics discuss or described in section 6 of the chapter. Acceptance of a duty to society as a whole. Uh, Professionals can be relied upon to act in a public good, and in exchange, members are provided a qualification and the ability to use a title like ACCA, CA, or ethical and ethics and ethical behavior. Why behave ethically? Right. Any comments or any idea, Anish or Andrea?
To build credibility, to build character within the individual, and most importantly, trust.
Yes. Basically, legislations and governance reputations and status in the community protect the public interest while preserving the confidence of the people. So also avoid any political conflicts of interest, you know, any conflict of, potential conflict of interest, then always be direct and honest, always maintain objectively and operate in the public's best interest, ensure that your professional knowledge, conduct, and abilities are current, maintain the confidentiality of an sensitive information, act by both the text and the spirit of the law. Then ethics consideration that are fundamentals to the profession of accounting. There are 5 key ethical standards make up an accountant. Honesty, integrity, objectivity, professional competence, and due care, confidentiality, professional behavior. So having on honesty and objectivity, competence in the professional realm and proper care, sincerity, straight forwardness, and honesty all imply that one is being genuine and fair.
Oh dear.
Anyone? Any question? Somebody said, "Oh dear," I think so. Not agree with the objectives.
Sorry, sorry, it's me.
Yeah.
It's Irene. I've been driving, so I just arrived home, and I
Oh,
think
sorry. I thought you are not agreed with these objectives.
no. I'm driving, and
Oh,
so
that's fine. That's fine.
sorry.
That's fine. No problem. So drive safe anyway. Okay. So so it is important to refrain from disclosing sensitive information and from exploiting such information for one's own benefit or the benefits of third parties. So maintain a professional behavior, ensure that you comply with all applicable rules and regulations, and steer clear of any behavior that might bring the profession into discredit. Right, conceptual framework, the code of professional ethics for accountants outlines a fundamental approach to issue resolution, which is, as if you can see that, determine the danger that is, posed to a basic principle, conduct a risk assessment, conduct a risk assessment, put in place protection, stop performing the action or providing the services, and the protections cannot be implemented. Uh, Categories of danger on self-interest, examining oneself, advocacy for a sense of familiarity, dominance of fear. So uh, safeguards that have been established by the profession, uh, whether by legislation or regulations, safeguards that are implemented in the workplace, such as quality department or audit departments. Compliance with the law, obviously, we discussed in our previous lecture, there are two categories of UK law: criminal and civil law. When it comes to accounting ethics, principle versus rules, the approach to ethics that is founded on principles empowers one to make decisions on an uh, yeah I was just covering this one. Yeah. So when it comes to the accounting professional, ethics principle versus rules, the approach to ethics that is founded on principle empowers one to make decisions on individual basis. So the principal method has number of advantages, consistently rigorous in accordance with the idea of bigger pictures, adaptable to the ever-changing conditions. Uh, so when we compliance with law, there are two categories of UK laws: criminal law and civil laws. So a matter of ethics, accountants, that the law of the UK uh, divided into two main categories: criminal and civil law. So criminal law is that governs the entire community, penalties including monetary penalties or uh, uh, prisons or more strict punishments. The concept of civil laws pertains to dispute that occur within the society. It is not appropriate to use the idea of punishment. Certain law which may not be immediately apparent have an impact on accountants. So statutes about health and safety laws relating to employment protection and equality, there is a requirement to comply with laws and regulations. A simple act of compliance, on the other hand, could not be considered an ethical actions. one may find several examples of acts that are legal but do not adhere to ethical standards. There is no legal authority that can enforce the ethical standards of an accountant. The professional body they belong to has the authority to decide on penalties depending on the nature of their work. They could be subject to additional rules. So the accounting profession, the International Federation, I was just talking about, anybody knows about International Federation of Accountants?
Yeah,
Anybody?
I've heard the name. Yeah.
Yeah, but is a global organization that serve as a representative for all of the other main accounting organizations. It establish certain criteria that all accountants across the world are required to follow. So the IFAC or International Federation of Accountants Code of Ethics for Professionals Accountant is the foundation upon with most professional accountancy associations code of ethics are built. So this code was developed by the uh, you know International Ethics Standard Board or IESBA. So then CCAB basically only for UK and Ireland has 5 members, of which 3 ICA Chartered Accountants of England and Wales, Chartered Accountant of Scotland, and Chartered Institute of SIPFA, Chartered Institute of Professional Financial Accountants, so are sponsoring bodies of the AAT. So the CCAB coordinate and unites the accountancy profession in the UK and Ireland. Previously, CIMA was Chartered Institute of Management Accountant was member of CCAB, but I think so for some reason they left. They are no more member of CCAB. Then HM Revenue and Customs is a UK government department. I hope all of you are accountant and you know about HMRC, which is a tax office or tax is paid at the right time. They ensure that the correct tax is paid at the right time. Then NCA or National Crime Agency, a government agency in in the UK or United Kingdom, combat significant forms of organized crime, including human trafficking, fraud, money laundering, and the distribution of Class A drugs or narcotics. Business ethics and professional values, integrity in business and adherence in professional standards. Firms are ethically responsible for their acts and they should be held accountable for their actions impact on individuals and society according to the notion of business ethics, which claims that firms bear this responsibility. So fundamental tenets of public behavior, authenticity, being objective, uh, one's responsibility, transparency, authenticity. So the right of various external and internal groups that are significant to the organizations referred to as stakeholders must also be respected. So organizations often target profit as their primary objective. So in order to accomplish this goal, a code of conduct has to be formulated. So business ethics and professional values, code of a behavior of worker is intended to be influenced by a code of conduct which outlines the process to be followed by the organizations in particular ethical circumstances. Organization has the right to impose punishment, including termination of employment in the event that the code is violated, to regulate these members within a particular profession. A profession or organization may choose to adopt a code of practice. Code of practice are utilized in order to provide support for legal tasks. For example, AAT code of professional ethics is a very good example. Uh, in order to steps to take in order to develop an ethical plan that is, effective, active leadership, often known as, tone at the top, support from the staff members, appropriate instruction, advantage of employing ethical initiatives that are successful, ensure that anticipated standard of conduct is communicated more effectively. So encourage a consistent pattern of behavior. Uh, add is mitigation risks and minimizing harm to the company's brand. Sustainability and SCR, so corporate social responsibility, SCR. Any comments about sustainability and SCR? Anyone?
So it's about ethics of the company's activities and how they operate, and that is viable over the long term.
Yeah, that's correct. So accountant basically have a responsibility to act in the public interest, have wider social responsibilities, not just confined to the office environment. So sustainability and CSR, or corporate social responsibility, accountant have an obligation to behave in the public interest and have larger social duties that are not limited to the office environment.
That's it. I think to make it more relevant, a good example is the climate change
Yes,
and ESG, which is all about environmental sustainable
yes,
governance. That is a discipline that's being pushed forward by organizations to be able to quantify their carbon footprint. So looking at how climate finance is quantified, and then net zero is a fund that can be placed against as a provision to mitigate the carbon footprint of organizations on society.
yeah, that's correct. Sorry. Yeah, that's correct. And so if you look at different awarding bodies, they are offering or they are providing some information or courses relating to ESG as well. Okay, so it is a yes, yes, very. Thank you, Hanesh. Thank you very much. It's a good point. So, sustainability and finance professionals, the triple bottom line: economic, or financial, social, and environmental. So, financial or economics, ensuring the profitability of the firm, ensuring service to customers and local companies, and making payments to vendors, supporting the workforce, the community, and the company's location is considered socially and responsibility. Then environmental, reduce the amount of energy you consume, reduce the amount of pollution you produce, and support policies that manage resources. So governance, risk, and ethics, for the directors and managers of several businesses. Governance is a significant problem. They must address its primary areas of concentration are centered around ensuring that firms are directed and controlled appropriately, as well as ensuring that directors act in the best interest of their shareholders. On the other hand, any debate of how to operate businesses properly quickly turns into a discussion about ethics and corporate social responsibility. A number of high profile corporate failures have brought to light the fact that risk management is an essential component of running a commercial organizations. So implementing a suitable system of internal suitable system of internal control, which should also include an internal audit as is a component of this solution to this problem. Corruption. Explain the elements of and consequences of malpractices, fraud, bribery in business organizations. Corruptions encompasses any form of uh, you know uh, any illegitimate use of office, and may include a range of different types of uh, or various forms of criminal activities. So act of bribery is restricted to the act of uh, providing or accepting payment for other advantages that are not authorized. Any act or omission that falls short of a level that is expected of the reasonable so man is uh, then so negligence authority. Any act or omission that falls short of a level that is expected of an reasonable man is considered to be negligent or negligent behavior. For a claim in negligence to succeed, it is necessary to establish that a duty of care was owed by the defendant to the claimant, so that the duty was breached, so that the breach of duty caused the claimant's loss, and that the loss fell within the defendant's scope of duty, and uh, and was a foreseeable consequences of the breach of duty. What is financial fraud? So application fraud is usually defined as when an individual uses their name to apply a financial for a financial product, but uses false information or counterfeit documents in the application. So these two types of fraud can be carried out by individuals under their own name or by someone who has stolen their identity. So examples of fraudulent activities include identity theft, then mortgage fraud, credit and credit card or credit and debit card frauds, fake charities, prize lottery fraud, debt collection fraud. Any questions so far? Is everything okay?
Good, thank you.
Oh, so everybody can hear me as well and see my screen. Right, what is corruption? So corruption is bribery and any other behavior is in relation to person entrusted with responsibilities in the public or private sector, which violate their duties and is aimed to obtaining undue advantages of any kind for themselves or for others. So basically there are different examples or The primary types of corruptions are taking, uh, bribes, committing fraud, and uh, extorting money. Examples are, bribery, which provides for excessive hospitality. Additional examples include hospitality, promotional or other, commercial expenditures. So, uh, mostly companies are permitted to make hospitality, promotional, or other commercial expenditures. It is possible, for instance, to supply customers with, tickets to supporting events, to take clients out to dinner, offer gifts to client as a reflection of good relationship, or to pay for appropriate, travel expenses in order to display goods or services to client, provided that this is a fair and, proportionate for your, business. So basically, these all are different kind of, bribery or corruption, but in good packaging, you know. So what is bribery? Again, same, in the offering, promising, giving, accepting, or soliciting of an advantage as an inducement for an action which is illegal, unethical, or a breach of trust. So here he's giving an example of KPMG. Everybody knows about KPMG is one of the, famous company. Conducted a study of FTSE 100 firms and discovered that two-thirds of them stated that it was impossible to conduct business in certain countries without being implicated in bribery and corruption. So the World Bank has stated that bribery has become a $1 trillion industry. Accountancy profession members are perceived to be acting professionally or to have professionalism in, literal sense. So professionalism may also be uh, regarded more as a state of mind, while the profession itself offer the norms that members of that professions are required to follow. Then members are obligated to comply with applicable rules and regulations and to refrain from engaging in any activity that might bring dishonor to the professions. Members are expected to behave in professional manner, which means, adhering to the ethical standards that have been established by the professional organizations. Uh, it would it would appears that the profession is moving away from reactive strategy and towards a more proactive and throughout the course of time. The profession of accounting involves taking responsibility for any adverse repercussions that may arise therefrom accounting methods and where it deemed acceptable. So reactive approach and proactive approach. So example, accounting techniques fail to foresee the danger that the special purpose entities found by Enron to hide in debts would not really be merged into Enron main accounts after they were founded. So reactive approach, taking responsibility for any negative consequences of accounting practices, uh, fail to identify the risk that special purpose entities, this may be have attributed to the eventual downfall of Enron and the loss of pensions due to many Enron staff. The practice was removed by the requirement from the accounting profession to include this off balance sheet financing in the main account of companies. So then he's talking about a proactive approach, seeking out the positively contributing to the public interest. Example, the accounting profession recognized that guidance or how to carry out an environmental audit or to accumulate appropriate metrics to include with an environmental audit is not available. And then guidance is provided in the public interest as a benefit to society rather than waiting until society as a whole request the guidance. What is a public interest? Uh, is you often, I hope everybody knows about, and you often heard word public interest. Uh, is the it is possible to define the public interest as something that contribute to the overall well-being society as a whole, as opposed to something that serves the interest of certain sectoral interest groups or the interest of individuals member of society. Here, explain offenses and penalties related to money laundering. Uh, Money laundering is the process of which the proceeds of crime and the true ownership of those proceeds are changed, that the proceeds appears to come from a legitimate source. It is statutorily defined as an act which constitute an offense under Proceed Criminal Act 2002. Uh, Criminal property include proceeds of tax evasion, benefits obtained through bribery and corruption, and benefits, example, saved cost from failure to comply with the regulatory requirements. Then terrorism is the use of threat of action designed in influence government or to intimidate any section of the public or to advance political, religious, or ideological cause, where the action would involve threats to health and safety, damage, property, or disruption of electronic systems. So, money laundering offenses under POCA or POC 2002. POCA or Proceed of Crime Act, 2002. Offensing complying with the POCA 2002, discussing, concealing, converting, transferring, or removing property that is considered to be unlawful under section 327. Then participating in some scheme that is designed to add the purchase, use, or control of property that is owned by criminals under section 328. It is a violation of section 329 to acquire, use, or possess criminal property. So here are some, offenses and maximum sentence: money laundering 14 years, tipping off 5 years, failure to disclose knowledge or suspicion of money laundering 5 years. So identify of suspect if known, information on which the knowledge of suspicious is based, tipping off and whereabouts of laundering property if known. Number 3. Failure to disclose knowledge or suspicion of money laundering. Fraudulent behavior. Fraud can be defined or described as the purposeful, deceit that is meant for either personal benefit or financial gain. So the act of engaging in fraudulent activity is considered to be illegal action and can result in substantial, consequences, including imprisonment. So there are many type of fraud behavior connected to companies, including inside dealing, or I think so inside trading. Anybody knows about inside trading or inside dealing? Have you ever heard about more famous known as inside trading? Anybody can? Anesh?
Insider trading is where you manipulate the markets being the London Stock Exchange or the Dow Jones, where you have knowledge of the plans where the company is going to deal with a merge with another acquisition of firms, and you have insider knowledge which normally wouldn't be shared in the public domain,
Yeah,
and
it
this is criminal.
yeah, so if I believe, if anybody knows, it was not a crime few until I think so a few years back. So, but it is now it's a serious crime, inside training, and related to stock market, as I said, market abuse. So thank you. Yeah, that's correct. So that is money laundering, then bribery and fraudulent and wrongful trading and criminal activity in the management of companies. So there are a number of criminal offenses that could be undertaken by individuals concerned in the operation, management, or winding up of a company. So it is possible for anyone involved in the operations, management, or winding up of a corporation or to commit a variety of criminal charges. So these offenses can encompass a wide range of acts. So it is possible for persons who are involved in the operations, management, or winding up a corporation to commit a variety of criminal crimes by their actions. So these refers to the failure to file annual returns or accounts in the event that accounts or annual returns are not delivered on time. So this becomes a criminal, uh, activity. So prosecution may be brought against each and every director of a firm that is in default. In the event that a director is found guilty, they may be subject to criminal record as well as fine of up to £5,000 or each offense. So here he is talking about section 499, Act of providing an auditor with information that is a secret. That auditor has the authority as stipulated by section 499 of the California Civil Code of 2006. Demand from the officers and employees of the corporation any information and explanation that he deems relevant for the fulfillment of his responsibilities as as an auditor. So if an official of the company provides information or explanations that are misleading, false, or if they neglect to provide information or explanations that are needed by the auditor, then his becomes a criminal crime, and individual has the ability to defend themselves against such an allegations if they are able to demonstrate that it was not reasonably possible for them to supply the request information or explanation. Business name section, according with section 82 of the Companies Act 2006, it is a criminal offense to use a business name that requires prior approval if that approval has not been obtained. So it is a crime to omit to provide the information about the firm that required by the act. The facts that are being provided include the corporate name of the firm as well as the address where documents can be served. So the firm Directors Disqualification Act of 1986, CDDA, Director Disqualification Act, is relevance here. A person is guilty of any an offense if they behave in a manner that contrary it to a disqualification order, or if they are undischarged, bankrupt, as stated in section 13. In section 13 of the Criminal Code of 1986, section 15 of the Criminal Act 1986. So company while disqualified or who act and instructions of someone who is disqualified shall be personally liable for the company's debts incurred during the time they acted. Phonex companies, section 216 and section 217 is Insolvency Act 1986. Under section Insolvency Act IA 1986 are specifically designed to address the situation of corporations that are commonly referred to be Phonex companies. When a person was a director or a shadow director of a company at any point in time throughout the period of 12 months that ended with the day before the company went into liquidation, they are applicable. So for a period of 5 years following the liquidations, the requirements are applicable. They ban the individuals from being a director of a business that has a name that is similar to the former firm's name, or a name that indicates a relationship with the previous company, unless the court gives permission for someone to do so. So they can, if they use or if they do any criminal violation that can result in imprisonment uh, uh, or a fine. In addition, the directors will be personally accountable for any debts of the new business that are incurred during the time that he was involved in the operations of the firm. uh, 3, explain offenses and penalties related to computer misuse and cybercrime. Computer Misuse Act 1990 is a key piece of legislation that criminalizes the act of accessing or modifying data stored on a computer system without appropriate consent or permission. Then Computer Misuse Act 1990 uh, is the UK large defense against hacking, allowing the state to prosecute those who use or access computer for malicious purpose. The offenses are unauthorized access to computer material and then unauthorized access with intent to commit or facilitate commission of further offenses, uh, unauthorized act with intent to impair or with recklessness or as to impairing operations of computer, etc. The Fraud Act 2006 brought about a significant transformation in the legal framework governing criminal fraud prior to the implementation of the Fraud Act, the statutory fraud charge committed in accordance with the Theft Act 1978 were founded in the concept of deceit. So they included the following: obtaining property by deceptions, obtaining money transfer by deceptions, obtaining pecuniary advantages of deceptions, and then obtaining services by deceptions. So the Fraud Act swept all of the old statutory deceptions offenses away instead of a new, offense of fraud being defined as follow. So making false or misleading representation, which uh, representation, this being where any person makes any representation as to fact or law express or implied, which they know to be nature or misleading. So failure to disclose information, whereby a person fails to disclose any information to third party when they are under a legal duty to disclose such informations. uh, Abuse of positions, which refers to the situation in which a person occupation uh, position where they are expected to safeguard the financial interests of another individual and abuse that position. This includes instant in which the abuse consisted of an omission rather than an overt act. Maintaining professional independence. Accountants must maintain independence, professional distance from their clients. So they require to keep a professional distance from their customers in order to retain their independence, being objectives. An accountant need to stay clear of favoritism, contradiction of interest, the undue influence of the people. So your own strength, character, and professionalism, integrity and professionalism that are possessed as an individuals, your understanding of the legal responsibilities and penalties that are imposed on you. You are aware of the professional responsibilities and disciplinary action that you are responsible, and you are aware of the potential adverse impact that your professional reputation might encounter. Yeah, maintaining a financial interest as interest in shares, equity, or other security, debentures, loan, or other debt instruments of an entity, including right and obligations to acquire, such as an interest, derivatives directly related to such an interest. Accountants are expected to uh, their professional independence. So there are two type of financial interests: direct and indirect. So direct financial interests, uh, direct owned directly by and under the control of an individual or entity, or beneficiary owned through a collective investment vehicle, estate, trust, or other intermediary over which the individuals or entity has control. So indirect financial interest is a financial interest that is beneficially held through a collective investment vehicle, state, trust, or other, stuff. So, direct. So indirect is a financial interest beneficially owned through a collective investment vehicle, state, trust, or other intermediary over which the individuals or entity has no control. gift, hospitality, and endorsement, colleagues at work, customers, or anyone third party such as a contractor, suppliers may provide these services to business. So this is also possibility of offering hospitality, favor of or favors, or presence. So both the objectively and the secrecy of the informations are under considerable danger. So potential danger like self-interest and intimidations. So there are some possible safeguard as well. Notify top management or those responsible for governance of the situations. So notify also third parties as professional organization if you can. So it is necessary for present to be of a sufficient significance that it may be fairly viewed by a person who's in possession of all the circumstances as having the potential to affect your decision making. Again, repeating Bribery Act. Policies for handling client monies. So client monies are any forms of paper of of title of money or documents of title that may be converted into money that are held by members in practice on behalf of a client. So client monies can also be represented by documents of title. They do not include payments for work done or fee paid in advance for work to be done, or nor do they cover the use of management of a client's own bank accounts. So example of money made by customers for the behalf of customers, refunds from tax office, HMRC, that were received, money that has been given into members of the profession in order to add in carrying out the instructions of the client, surplus of funds that are left over after an engagement has been completed. Uh, Accountants are not allowed to take custody of the money or other assets belonging to their customers unless they are authorized to do so by specific laws. Policies of handling client money, separation, use, accountability. Handling client money leads to self-interest, threats to professional behavior, and objectivity. So separations, client monies should be kept separately from monies belonging to your personally and or to the practices. Utilize money that is provided by the customer should only be utilized for the reason that it was established for. Then accountability. When approved inquiries asks you about the money, you must always be prepared to provide an explanation for it. Some policies for handling client monies, not held client monies, monies of investment business clients. You are not subject to any regulations, and the money in customers belonging to customers of investment businesses, there is a basis for to the belief that they are property belonging to criminals. The decisions to keep the money is not supported for any circumstances. It is not allowed to you to deal with the money of your clients since your license or registration has restrictions that bans you from doing so Fraud Act 2006, false representation section 2, fraud failing disclose information section 3, and fraud by abuse of position under section 4. confidentially and disclosure, simple information that is disclosed with the express condition that it is to be kept secret and confidential. So information that is exchanged between a customers and a professional working connections, uh, information that is limited or classified inside the information system of an organization comprises three more categories. So information that is safeguarded by law pertaining to data protection and personal privacy, then information uh, that could be used against the interest of the organizations or any or an individuals. So there is a Data Protection Act of 1988, gives individuals the right to know what information is held about them. A data collector, information commissioner office, and notification is a has legal powers to ensure compliance with the act. So notification is statutory requirement and involves data controller giving the information uh, commissioner officer or sorry office details about the processing of personal information. So failure to notify is a criminal act or criminal offense. So there are a number of important ethical standard, one of which is confidentially. Confidentiality is one of the fundamental ethical principle and applies even after the assignment is over and applies to any staff under your authority or any one you ask for advice or assistance. So a list of situations, there are a list of situation in which you are permitted to reveal personal information. First, when you have appropriate authorization to do so. Second, when you have professional obligations or the right to do so. So third, when you are required to do so by law. That's it for today. There are some references, websites, and books if you want to read further, or you can go through. And that's it for today. Thank you very much. If any questions or any concerns issue, you can drop me an email at yasir@ukversity.co.uk, or also you can message me. So that's it, guy. Any questions? Any issues? Anyone?
No
Not
issue.
from my side, thank you. I just want
No.
to say I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I'll be able to join tomorrow, but I will try.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem. No problem. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
And
Thank
Weekend.
you,
have a
Bye.
good
everyone.
evening and bye for now. And see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.